Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Montgomery County Board of Developmental Disability Services' third annual Disability Pride Rally. Some of you may know me from last time, some of you may not, but for those of you who do not know me, my name is Sierra Ward, and I will be your Master of Ceremonies for today's event. We are so grateful you could be with us on this special day. Before I introduce our speakers, I want to cover a few housekeeping issues. Our goal is to keep the program meaningful but brief. We have a number of speakers who are going to share their thoughts on this anniversary of the signing of the Americans with Disabilities Act and their feelings about disability pride. But if you need to use the restroom at any time during the event, the Dayton Metro Library has allowed us the use of their facilities. You can just walk through the sliding doors that are behind us over here. They also have a universal changing station on site. It's located on the second floor, and it can be accessed with a key available at the Ask Me desk. We also have water on site. If you need water, just wave your hand and someone will come to you and bring you a bottle. There are recycling bins where you can dispose of your empty water bottles when you are finished with them. After our speakers and our keynote speakers have made their remarks, we invite you all to stay for some ice cream. What's a celebration without ice cream on a hot summer day like this, right? Our recreation staff will be passing it out over at the drink table, which is that green tent right there. The only thing that we ask is that you find one of the trash cans to dispose of your spoon, ice cream cup, and napkin when you are finished. Thank you for respecting this beautiful park. We're so excited you are all here with us today. This Disability Pride Rally is a celebration of all people with disabilities that contribute to our community. It is also an opportunity to celebrate the anniversary of the signing and passage of the Americans with Disabilities Act, best known by its acronym, the ADA. Montgomery County Board staff also want to provide a chance for people with disabilities to be involved in this event, not just as guests, but also in the planning and leading of it as well. Today's keynote speakers are people with disabilities, and some of the people working the event have disabilities too. Some visible, others not so much. Most of all, they wanted this rally to be an opportunity for people with disabilities and the audience and on stage to share the pride they feel in themselves with our community and region, and to call attention to their talents, skills, and contributions. Sounds like a worthwhile plan, right? So without further ado, let's get this rally started, shall we? Please help me welcome Dr. Pamela Combs, the Superintendent of the Montgomery County Board of Developmental Disability Services, the agency that is holding the event. Dr. Combs, go ahead.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that welcome, and thank you for being here to celebrate our Disability Pride Rally at Cooper Park. So nice to be here on this beautiful summer day. The ADA was a true turning point in the lives of people with disabilities. It acknowledged that people with disabilities were not second-class citizens, and it put law behind the rights for inclusion and acceptance. It allowed people to make their own choices about how they lived their lives. It also brought people with disabilities out of the shadows. It showed them as citizens, leaders, influencers, as they sought to change perceptions in their communities about disabilities. You know it took lots of people, lots of years to make these changes. And many of you here today were those change makers. Let's give yourselves a round of applause. There is so much that we can do to be champions for change. Businesses can hire people with disabilities. We can ask organizations to involve people with disabilities as they plan events, activities, and building adjustments. We can install universal changing tables in public spaces. We can make websites and information accessible so that all can read and understand. You'll notice my t-shirt, Champions for Change. That's our motto. And we want to help change the way people with disabilities are perceived. We want everyone to be valued and respected members of our communities. I'm excited for you today to hear from some of our advocates. And at the end of the celebration, I have a couple of really exciting announcements. So I look forward to sharing those. So I'm going to turn it over again right now to Sierra, our MC, to guide us through this rally. Thank you all again for being here.
Thank you, Dr. Combs, for those inspirational words. I would like to welcome Commissioner Shaw and Commissioner Fairchild from the Dayton Commissions. Will you both come forward and share your thoughts?
Thank you so much. And thank you all for being here, and thank you. I want to bring you greetings on behalf of my colleagues on the Dayton City Commission. Commissioner Fairchild should be showing up here any minute, so I hope he will join me when he arrives. But on behalf of Shanice Turner-Sloss, Matt Joseph, again, Commissioner Fairchild, and our mayor, Jeffrey J. Mims, I want to bring you greetings and thank you so much for all of your contributions to this community. We're here to celebrate you. We're here to celebrate the ADA. From what someone told me, it's the 34th anniversary of that great legislation. And just want to recognize the great contributions that you bring forward to our community. You know, everyone has different kinds of abilities, but we all can contribute in some kind of a way. And you do that every day, and we want to celebrate you for that. So thank you so much for all that you do, and we just want to continue to work with you to make this community the great community that it is and what it can be. So thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of the day. Commissioner Lieberman.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Shaw. Give him a round of applause, everybody. Now, at this time, we'd like to invite Montgomery County Commissioners Debbie Lieberman and Judy Dodge to the stage to say a few words. Ladies, will you please come forward?
Good morning, everyone. What a beautiful day. Commissioner Dodge and I are thrilled to be here for the third annual rally. It's great, 34 years, you know, and it was about time. But every year that we continue to celebrate and bring awareness is so important. And we as commissioners are so proud of the work that our DDS does. Doctor, thank you so much, and the team. But we're proud of so many of you, all of you, who are productive citizens in our county. And you, by being advocates, by being here, are making such a difference. And so I love these, Disability Pride. And I'm going to let Commissioner Dodge say a few words before I read a special proclamation from us.
Thank you. Well, you know, it's always a pleasure to be here. I think we've come every year, and why is it that every single year we've been here, the weather has been wonderful? So we're very proud of that, so thank you. Anyway, I just echo what Commissioner Lieberman said, and everybody just have a wonderful, beautiful day today, so thank you.
Thank you. And we do need to thank the library. Isn't this wonderful that we're able to be here? And we all clapped earlier, but you know, the library really came forward with the changing tables, and we are so thankful for them for supporting that initiative, and we know we're just going to get those in more places. So thank you, library. So here's a proclamation for all of you. Whereas Montgomery County recognizes and celebrates July as Disability Pride Month, and July 26th of 2024 as the 34th anniversary of the signing of the Americans with Disabilities Act. And whereas all Montgomery County citizens are valued and critical to building a strong, healthy, and thriving community, regardless of ability status. And whereas Montgomery County is committed to the inclusion and respect for people with disabilities and recognizes the contributions that people with disabilities make to enhancing our community through your talents, your gifts, and your effort. And whereas Montgomery County is proud to celebrate Disability Pride Month 2024 with you today and with our Montgomery County Board of Developmental Disabilities, now therefore be it resolved that the Board of County Commissioners of Montgomery County, Ohio, on this 26th day of July, does hereby recognize and honor all of those with disabilities and the many contributions that you make to the community. And we celebrate the 34th anniversary of the signing of the Americans with Disability Act. And that is signed by myself, Debbie Lieberman, Commissioner Judy Dodge, and Commissioner Carolyn Rice, who sends her greetings, and so sorry that she couldn't be here. She's down the street at another meeting. Yeah. So again, we are so happy to be here with you today, and let's continue the celebration. Thank you.
Thank you both. Give them a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Next up, I want to introduce Mr. John Sayre, the Vice President of the Montgomery County Board of Developmental Disabilities, to say a few words about the importance of this day.
Thank you, Sierra. Today, we gather to commemorate a very significant moment in the unfolding story of our country. In that story, together as Americans, we strive to realize the more perfect union that our brave forebears sought to create when they founded this nation on the radical notion that all people are created equal and endowed with inalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. For nearly 250 years, advancing that cause has been the through line of American history and the mission of courageous men and women such as yourselves who endeavor to ensure that those inalienable rights are universally respected for all. This day, July 26th, the date the Americans with Disabilities Act was signed, deserves to be celebrated alongside the other great pivotal milestones that advance the noble cause of liberty and justice for all. Milestones such as July the 4th, when Americans declared no more kings, no dictators on day one or any other day. Juneteenth, when the unconscionable evil of slavery was finally ended within our borders. And August 18, when the 19th Amendment was ratified, thus extending the right to vote to all women. The ADA deserves to be celebrated among these other spectacular moments in history because its enactment liberated millions of Americans with disabilities who had previously been excluded from full participation in society by systemic barriers that kept basic rights, opportunities, and the ability to truly pursue happiness out of reach. The Americans with Disabilities Act becoming the law of our land was a resounding declaration that discrimination against individuals with disabilities is unacceptable, and that those living with disabilities must be allowed to engage with their communities on equal footing. In celebrating the ADA, we honor the resilience and advocacy of those who fought tirelessly for its passage, take pride in the uniqueness of our individual identities, and recognize that while significant progress has been made, our journey towards a more perfect union in which those with disabilities no longer face any physical or social barriers remains ongoing. At the signing ceremony for the ADA, President George Herbert Walker Bush articulated his belief that along with the precious privilege of having won the lottery of life and been born an American comes a sacred duty to ensure every other American's rights are respected. At the Montgomery County Board of Developmental Disabilities Services, we call honoring that duty being a champion for change. As you listen to our keynote speakers, Christopher, Teresa, and James, discuss their efforts to become more perfect people and realize their full potential, I hope you will reflect on your own opportunity to play a part in the drive towards a more perfect union by being a champion for change, advocating not only for your own needs, but also for those of your friends, neighbors, and fellow Americans. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sayre. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. All right, before we get started, I would like to recognize our keynote speakers from our previous Disability Pride rallies. Brandon Kilgore, Letitia Martin, and Anna Van Der Waal were our keynote speakers in 2022. And last year, Jermaine Martin Pokes, Kevin Davis, Miss Wheelchair Ohio, Allison Boot, and I all spoke. Let's thank them for helping us kick off our first two Disability Pride rallies in such a spectacular way. We all appreciate them. And now I'd like to introduce our first keynote speaker of 2024. Christopher Camp is the winner of the 2021 DD Hall of Fame Award for Employment and an 8-year employee of Acradia Care at Dayton, an elder care facility that you may have known as Friendship Village. His story is one of determination, and it shows just how important people with disabilities are to the community and how they contribute each and every day. Please help me welcome Chris and Janice Rice, the board's director of communications, who will interview him. Please step up, you guys.
My name is Christopher Camp, and I work at Friendship Village, and I have a disability. I want people to know in the community there's different jobs that people can get hired as a disability. Different people can hire them, and I want to make sure they are hired. And I'm here today because I'm so proud. Thank you.
One of the things that Christopher did not tell you is that he was one of the essential workers during the pandemic. Chris, will you tell everyone more about what you do?
I am a dishwasher. I work in dishes, doing plates, forks, knives, spoons, and I take
You clear tables.
And I clear tables, help people.
Why did you decide you wanted to work at Friendship Village?
Because my mom was in a nursing home, and I wanted to work with different people in nursing home because I want to support them, because I do delivered food to the colleges, apartments, different things, helping people know where people got to go, coming, asking questions. I do stocking, put stuff away, put up dishes on shelves and different things.
So for 8 years, you've done this.
For 8 years, I've done this.
Yes, and your job is one that's so important. Can you tell us why you think it's important?
It's important because I want to know people can be served, not dirty dishes. I want people have clean somewhere to live, clean places to go.
That's so wonderful. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
And I thank my family coming out.
We're so happy that Chris came. This is his first time ever speaking in front of a crowd. Wasn't he amazing?
Thank you, Janice, and of course, thank you, Chris. Give him a round of applause, everybody. Wasn't that story beautiful? We appreciate the work that you are doing, Chris, to help older citizens in our community. Thank you. Now, I would like to invite our second keynote speaker, Teresa Sauter, to come forward. Teresa is a seasoned self-advocate and a founding member of Voices Matter, the self-advocacy group of the Montgomery County Board of Developmental Disabilities. She also received the board's 2022 Hall of Fame Award for Advocacy. Teresa had spoke in front of numerous groups from the Montgomery County Commission and high school classes to the board's self-advocacy conferences. And I know she is excited to be here with you today. Please help me welcome Miss Teresa.
Good morning. It's great to see you all here today. When I was asked to be a speaker for the disability rally, I said yes right away, but I wasn't the confident advocate that I am today. Being a part of the self-advocacy group for Montgomery County has helped me believe in myself and realize that my voice and those with people with developmental disabilities deserve to be heard. When I joined Voices Matter, I met other interesting people who had the same when I joined Voices Matter, I met interesting people with disabilities. We became friends. We talked about what we wanted in life and learned that they wanted this. I learned that they wanted the same things as me. They wanted to be in control of their lives. They wanted to make their own choice, own decisions. When you advocate for yourself, it tells others that you want to be like everyone else. It also helps you realize you are as important as other people. Self-advocacy helps you live the life you want to live. This group has helped me become more of a risk taker. I would have never thought 5 or 6 years ago that I would be doing the stuff I am today. That I would speak at advocacy conferences to groups of high school students, or even at an event like Five Rivers Metro Adventure Summit. I was afraid of putting myself out there because I didn't believe people would want to hear what I had to say, but I'm not so afraid anymore. Self-advocacy opens doors and helps you become the person you really want to become. I have big plans for my future, and now I understand that opening up and taking risks helps you become a better person, a better version of yourself.
Don't back up. You're real close here. There you go. Nice job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa, for that beautiful story. Please give her another round of applause. Now, at this time, I'd like to introduce our third keynote speaker, James Moon. James is a member of the Montgomery County Board of Developmental Disabilities Communications Team and the first person with a developmental disabilities to be working in such a capacity at the Ohio County Board of DD. He also is a recipient of the DD Hall of Fame Award for Personal Achievement in 2020. James earned a bachelor's degree in communication studies from Wright State University and has been employed by the board for 2 years. He brings a valuable perspective to our agency, and we are happy to welcome him to the stage today. Please come up, James.
I can't lie, I'm a bit nervous, so I need every one over here to spare me some space here. Okay? Okay. Calm down, because I don't got a lot of time, okay? So, being a person who's got a developmental disability is challenging. Because, sorry, oops. Because you see the world a lot differently than everybody else. And I'm no exception. I learned that having a disability shouldn't stop anybody, them including all of you, from living life we want to live. Them including myself. I didn't know it at first. What I could give to the world as a person with autism, mainly because I didn't know who I truly was. And I didn't have a good grasp of what the world was truly like. Down the line, I had to figure out for myself as a human, what I wanted out of life. But one of the most important things about life is the relationships you have with others. Communicating is key. Whether it is them in person or on a line or any other way. So I set a goal with the help of my parents of attending college. And I ended up choosing communication studies because it would help me land the kind of job I wanted. I graduated from Wright State University in 2020 with a bachelor's degree in communication studies. Don't worry now, Doreen. There's a lot more than that. Being an employee, the MCBDDS, them over the last 2 years has helped me find my voice and inner strength. Helped me learn who I was as a person, how to communicate with others, and even learn to set boundaries and standards. I had to also learn how to read people and interact with others on a daily basis. Doing these things not only helps you build your confidence, but also helps you understand your worth. What I truly want for this insane world, people with developmental disabilities like myself is to teach them about important things in life, such as finances, hygiene, how to dress for certain events, them and even hire them for jobs like MCBDDS did with me. My life with a developmental disability is definitely least storybook. But I have more chapters to write, more stories to uncover, and more history to make. Thank you.
Thank you, James. Give him another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Before we wrap up today's rally, I would like to share with you a little about myself. I stand before all of you as an individual on the autism spectrum with ADHD as well. I do not think of my disabilities as a disability. I think of them more as a superpower of some sort, with some weaknesses added in there. And of course, as you know, superheroes have both strengths and weaknesses, don't they? I struggled in school, and I was bullied because of my supposed slowness. One of my classmates even said I would not be able to graduate high school or even go to college. Well, guess what? Here I am, a graduate of Yellow Springs High School and a 2-year career certificate program. I am also pursuing an associate's degree at Sinclair Community College. My goal is to become a voice-over artist, and I've been working towards that goal with opportunities like these where I serve as your master of ceremonies. I never gave up on what I wanted in my life, and I hope that you don't either. Yes, I may struggle to find what I want, but I never give up. And neither should you. Now at this time, I'd like to bring Dr. Combs back up to the stage with some closing words. Dr. Combs.
Thank you, Sierra. And we all have things we're good at and things we're not so good at. So isn't that true? We all have challenges that we face as a community, individually. So thank you for sharing that. And I don't know if James remembers this, but when I was hired as the superintendent in Montgomery County, one of my first emails was from James Moon. And he wanted to meet with me. He asked me to come to Wright State. I get there. He had my resume all printed out and the newspaper articles. And he looked at me and said, I wanted to ask you, what qualifies you to lead in Montgomery County? I know. Thanks, Jill. It was just an amazing moment. And early on, it gave me a perspective of the caliber of advocates we have, families, leaders, providers, team members. It was just so exciting. So I wanted to thank James for that. I wanted to thank our keynote speakers, Chris, Teresa, and Sierra as well, for doing such a great job today. Before we go, I wanted to share a couple of exciting things. I know you've heard us say this before, but we want to again thank our commissioners for those American Rescue Plan Act funds that helped us initiate the Universal Changing Table projects. These tables make restrooms accessible to everyone. We now have 9 tables that have been installed in Montgomery County. Montgomery County leads Ohio, and Ohio leads the country in this effort, and it's because of the support from our commissioners and our county leaders that we were able to take this project on. The changing tables are in places like the Dayton International Airport, the main Dayton Metro Library right behind us, the Huber Heights and Inglewood Libraries, the Kettering Recreation Center, the Centerville Washington Park District, the Schuster Center for Performing Arts, Carriage Hill Farm, and more, truly making our community accessible to those who might have challenging requirements around restroom. And we're just so grateful to be able to open up the community. The other big announcement is, in addition to these changing tables, we will now have a mobile accessible restroom that can be taken to events. This came through grant funding from the state of Ohio and through partnerships within our county. This trailer will be able to go to festivals, events. It has a ramp, universal changing table, a toilet, and a sink. It is beautiful. Janice just showed me the artwork. It is so beautiful. And it will be able to go to events and to be left as a universal changing station and a fully accessible restroom. So we are so excited about that. Remember those changing tables that we have that are mobile, that they're available for loan at no charge. So if you have an event or something coming up, whether it's a wedding, a family event, a provider event, anything like that that you would like to use one of our tables, just reach out through our website and we will get it to you to make your event accessible. The Ohio State Fair will again have a table, and the first couple of years they had one, it was ours. They borrowed the Montgomery County table to use at the Ohio State Fair. So we are so, so proud of that effort. And once again, it's thanks to our commissioners, Debbie Lieberman, Judy Dodge, Carolyn Rice, and our county administrator, Michael Cobert. Their commitment and encouragement to our board to go beyond just what's necessary, but to actually think of what's possible in our community, and we thank them for that. Thank you again for coming out. There is ice cream for everyone in the back somewhere. I am told I am going to find the ice cream. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being champions.